Hey Hip Chicks, here is the home inspection question of the year. Do I need a home inspection? Can I skip it? How much is it going to cost me? And what are they looking at anyway? In today's market where real estate is flipping so fast, a lot of people are opting to not get a home inspection. Well, I have those answers here. As part of the private DIY classes I offer in my Home Improvement Hero Academy, you can learn more by clicking that link above, I invite professionals from different areas of the home industry to be my guests on what we call Pro Chats. Now, while this is a perk for my private mentoring students, with all of the action in the real estate world these days, I really wanted to share this useful information with all of you. So be sure that you subscribe because here at Hip Chicks, I am all about saving you money, stress, and time. My guest here is Chris Earley. He is the owner and founder of Liberty Inspection Group in the Philadelphia metro area. And he was kind enough to spend an hour with me and my students answering our questions about home inspection. And you might be shocked by the number one issue that Chris and his crew find on their home inspections.
We all understand that home inspection happens when a home is sold, when it's moving from, from the seller to the buyer. And I think we're all familiar with looking for mold and radon and termites and kind of those common things. Can you tell us a little bit about what you actually do as a home inspector? Like, what is your focus? What is your primary goal?
I mean, our main goal is to make sure that the people buying the house are safe when they move in. Well, to make sure whoever's living in the house is safe, first and foremost. Our secondary thing is to make sure that they're not going to buy a money pit. They're not going to get into a house and they're going to have to spend a lot of money they didn't expect. So our first rule is protection, and our second one is protection of your capital, of your clients, of our clients' money. But it's really, a lot of it is peace of mind. And especially in this market, like I imagine you're following the real estate market right now. It's like uber hot right now. So if anybody wants to sell a house, now's a great time to sell a house. We're actually doing less inspections now than we normally do in the summer because it's so hot. People are waiving their inspections. So they're waiving their right to negotiate on them. They're waiving their right to get out of the deal because of them. I got a feeling there's going to be, might be a little buyer remorse when people get in and they move in and the house is not quite what they expected.
So aside from, those most common things, what else might we expect to see you looking for?
Part of the reason people like paying us is we go a lot of the places that people can't go themselves, such as the roof. So most houses are 2 stories tall. Our guys carry 32-foot extension ladders. We walk pretty much every roof if we can. If it's not too steep or if it's not too high, we walk every single roof. And for some people, that's worth it right there because they're not going to get up on the roof and they can't see the roof from the ground, especially like a 2-story row home in Philly. They're flat roofs. You just can't get up there. You can't see them.
And not that we would know what we're looking for anyway, if we did get up there.
Yeah. So a lot of it in crawl spaces. I mean, most houses around here are either on slab or in a basement, but some houses in here have crawl spaces, and these access hatches are not big. They're 16 inches by 24 inches. So my guys are getting in there. If they have to suit up and put a mask on, they're getting in there. Spend most of our time on the big ticket items: the roof, the heating and air conditioning, the electric, the plumbing, and the structural.
Is there a certification test or some stamp or certificate that if we're not hiring you, that we should be asking for from another company?
So New Jersey, Delaware, and Maryland, and probably half the states in the country are licensed states. So the state regulates it and they have to have a home inspection license. Pennsylvania is one of the few that does not. So Pennsylvania, Beth, you could be a home inspector tomorrow.
Wow.
Don't get any ideas.
No, I'm not crawling on my belly and, into a crawl space, but that's really mind-blowing.
So Pennsylvania, you have to be compliant, which means you have to carry errors and emissions insurance. And I think it's got to be like up to $1 million policy. So if for say we miss something, the consumer's protected up to $1 million. And we have to belong to a national inspection association, but that's it for Pennsylvania. The other states,
there's no test of certification.
Correct. There is that's called the NHIE, the National Home Inspection Exam. But in Pennsylvania, you could be inspecting and you don't have to take that. There's nobody checking to make sure you took it. There's nobody checking your continuing ed. So it's like the Wild Wild West in PA.
What might we expect in terms of a cost for a home inspection? Is it based on square footage or is it based on a home value?
We based ours on the square footage and the age of the house. And really, it's based on the amount of time we're going to spend in the house. So if it's a 3,000 foot new construction house that was finished up yesterday, we're going to go through it a lot faster than a 3,000 square foot house that's 200 years old. So ours is based on, yeah, our typical home inspection is probably runs anywhere from 400 up to, over $1,000 if it's a huge house.
How long does a home inspection take? Say the average 3,000 square foot home.
We budget about an hour per 1,000 square feet.
Are there any reasons outside of selling a house or buying a house that someone would call you for a home inspection?
We've done inspections before for, I'll say for the people's kids have hired us to inspect their parents' house. Their aging parents who are let's say they're 80 and 85 and their father always took care of the house, but now he's getting a little older. He's got dementia or dad just died or mom just died or whoever took care of the house. And now the kids are concerned because they're concerned that the parents' house is going to burn down. They're concerned that they're going to electrocute themselves, or there's leaks in the house that their parents just aren't aware of. So we do a good amount of houses for older people, and it's just like a maintenance inspection.
What would we expect a home inspector to not look at? Is there something in particular like we just never touch?
This is going to sound really obvious, but we don't look behind the walls. We can't see what's in the wiring behind the walls. So sometimes in houses, there's knob and tube wiring behind the walls. But if we can't see any evidence of it, like in the basement where it goes up or in the attic where it goes down, we can't flag the fact that your house has knob and tube wiring because it's in the walls. So things we can't see is obviously one of them. Code, we don't inspect the code. Obviously, it's just a different set of standards. We're not looking to bring the houses up to code. We're looking to make them all safe.
Okay. So if a homeowner has an access panel, like I have one sitting over there, where the hose bib is, you don't even look into access panels?
If they're accessible, if they're truly accessible access panels, meaning there's not a bookshelf in the way or a stove in the way or a car parked in the way, absolutely. Yeah, we do that. The access panels behind the bathtubs, we always pull those. If there's a hatch to go up into the attic, we always pop the hatch. Yes, if it's readily accessible, Beth, yes, absolutely, 100%.
But you don't move furniture and go behind.
Correct.
What is a red flag for you for a property? What is something that you would be like, I'm out of here in a heartbeat?
I saw this on the questions you sent over, and I think it's different for every person. I think some people are going to be concerned about mold and water issues. I think some people are going to be concerned about knob and tube wiring. I think some people are going to be concerned about asbestos siding or asbestos flooring in the basement. I think some people like you, Beth, and probably some of your students who are very comfortable, if it's a decent house, but it's just dated, you might not be concerned about anything because the house is pretty safe. It just needs to be updated. So I think that question is personable to each individual person. Again, if your family has lung issues, my middle daughter has asthma. So when I buy a house, I don't want to buy a house that I feel has a musty smell. When I go down the basement, there's exposed stone and a stream running through the basement. I don't want to get a house with poor drainage. People with little kids probably don't want the same thing. So I think it's just personal to each person.
How far do you go? What is your territory reach?
Our radius is 2 hours. And we've got guys pretty much all throughout. So of Philly. So we're down at the Jersey Shore every week or every month. We've been down to Rehoboth and Dewey. One of my guys lives in Lancaster. We're actually opening a Harrisburg office by the end of the year.
Chris, what would you say is the number one issue that you come across as a problem in homes?
You're going to laugh. Missing GFCIs. There's still a lot of houses that are just haven't been brought up to that standard. Kitchens, bathrooms, exterior receptacles need to be GFCI protected. If they don't have the receptacles, you gotta have them tied in somewhere so it trips off if something drops in the water.
Is there anything, Chris, that you think we should understand as homeowners, buyers, sellers about this experience? And again, more importantly, why we need to get an inspection as so many people are foregoing it?
I mean, inspection, I told you guys first and foremost is for safety, it's for your own edification, but it's in a normal market, it's leverage. So, I mean, if you go in and just say you're the only buyer, which will come back at some point in the next couple of years, it's not going to be such a seller's market. You can go in and we always find stuff. We don't have to look very hard to find stuff. You can attach dollar value to each one of those items we find, and some people go crazy and they'll say, I want $15,000 off the price of the property based on this home inspection report. And the seller can go back and say, yep, here you go, or usually it's a negotiation, but it's additional money off the inspection report too. So once life safety aside, it's leverage. Yeah, really quick, Beth. Hey, thanks for having me on. I mean, I love what you're doing here. I didn't tell you guys, but I have 3 daughters and 6 sisters. No sons, no brothers. So I'm a big fan of what you're doing here. I want to make my daughters strong, confident women too. So.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Wow, Chris was so insightful. And what I love about him is that he's real and down to earth, and he truly wants to help homeowners be informed and educated in any way he can. So in that spirit, I want to invite you to join me for a live Pro Chat. On Tuesday, August 3rd, I am hosting a live, open to the public chat with Jason Cameron. Jason was the former host of Man Caves, DIY Network's Desperate Landscapes, and he is now a host of the CBS show called Secret Celebrity Renovation. Jason and I have become friends over the years, and he's agreed to sit down for a Q&A with me and my hip chicks. So if you would like to learn more about reality TV, doing your own landscaping projects, and what life is like as a GC off camera, you can ask Jason your questions. So if you'd like to register for this live event, click the link above. If it is after August 3rd, you can still click that link because it will take you to a replay of our interview with Jason. So make sure you subscribe and you don't miss anything here, and we'd love to see you on the 3rd.